Thanksgiving is all about those classic dishes that we all love. And if your family's anything like mine, they expect their favorites. They don't want me messing around with Thanksgiving, showing up with dishes that they've never had before. But those old classics take a lot of time and prep to put together. So today I'm sharing 4 easy side dishes and desserts that capture all the rich Thanksgiving flavors of the classics without all the fuss. Minimal dishes, simple prep, and flavors that might just taste better than the originals. So let's make classic Thanksgiving favorites easier, one delicious shortcut at a time. Starting with a broccoli grape pasta salad. I made this actually back in the summer for Papa's birthday, and it screamed fall to me. Perfect for Thanksgiving. I'm going to start by toasting up some pecan halves. I have about 2 cups of these. I want them a little bit smaller, so I'm just crushing them up a little bit and then chopping them into smaller pieces. I'm going to toast these up in the oven at 350 degrees for about 7 or 8 minutes, stirring them about halfway through. I'm going to put them in a little container when they're done, because we are not going to use these until the very end, right when we're getting ready to serve this. Also wanted to get a big pot of water going to boil my pasta, and I'm actually doubling this recipe. That never happens here, friends, but I'm doubling it for the cookout. So I'm going to use a 12-ounce box of bow tie pasta, cooking it just according to the package directions. And when it's done, I'm going to drain it, but I'm not going to rinse it. I want it to stay a little bit warm. Next, I'm going to go ahead and get the dressing put together, so that'll be ready to go. We're going to start with 2 cups of mayonnaise. You know, the mayonnaise is going to give this a wonderful little tangy taste. I'm adding 2/3 cup of sugar, and this is going to bring out all the sweetness of the ingredients that we're going to have in here. Also putting in 2/3 cup of a diced red onion, and that sugar will really enhance that taste too. You can use a regular onion if you like, but I enjoy the red onion. Also going to put in 2/3 cup of red wine vinegar. If you need to use white, that's fine, but again, I love the little bit of sweetness that the red wine vinegar adds. Also going to put in 2 teaspoons of salt. Give that all a really good stir. And now let's get our veggies cut up. I've got 2 pretty decent sized crowns of broccoli, and I'm going to be cutting these into little bite-sized pieces. The little florets don't have to be this small, but I enjoy everything being, you know, a good size to get a hold of on a fork in a pasta salad. So I'm going to get those all cut up, thrown into a large bowl. I've also got about 3 or 4 cups of red grapes, and I'm going to cut all of those in half. I thought I would try the trick where you put a plate on top of them and try to slice through them. That didn't work so great for me. So just get your grapes cut in half and throw them in the bowl with your other veggies. Now that we've got everything in our bowl, we're going to take our pasta, put it in with all of our veggies and our grapes. We're going to take our dressing, and I just find it's easiest to add about half of it in and give it a big stir. Then add the other half and give it another big stir. You want to just get everything coated and incorporated. Make sure that you just give it a really good toss. Again, use a really big bowl for this. Now we're going to cover this and put it in the fridge. We want typically to let this set 3 or 4 hours. I really love it when I can make a pasta salad the day before and let it set overnight. I think that really helps all the flavors to develop. Now we are ready to serve this, so I pulled it out at Mama and Papa's house, and I'm using some real bacon pieces. This is just a convenience for me, about a half a cup of that. Of course, if you had time to fry about 6 or 8 strips of bacon and chunk that up in here, that's even better, but these are a great little handy thing to use whenever you're in a pinch for time. And then we're going to take our pecans and stir them in. I meant to leave a big handful out to leave on the top, but I kind of forgot that. So just mix all those in and get everything well incorporated. I like to put the bacon and the nuts in closer to the end because I don't like it when the bacon and stuff like that gets kind of soggy in here. Friends, not only was this pasta salad delicious, it's a beautiful, colorful pasta salad. I really like using the grapes and not using like raisins like I do with the broccoli salad in the summer. I thought that was just really good. And the bacon and the pecans give it like a deep, toasted, smoky flavor. To me, that's what really made me feel like fall with this. I think this would be great to use with your leftover turkey. Kind of shred it up, mix it in here or chunk it up. And if you're making it in the summer, just a piece of grilled chicken would also be great to chop up and mix in here to use up any of the leftovers, because this really does make a lot. Even if you're not doubling it. My family loved it. We couldn't say enough good things about it, and I think that you're gonna love it too. Around here, we can't have Thanksgiving without a big dish of macaroni and cheese, and this one is all actually gonna be made in this one dish. I'm using an 8-ounce block of Vermont sharp white cheddar cheese, an 8-ounce block of Colby Jack cheese, and an 8-ounce block of just yellow sharp cheddar cheese. And the first thing that I have to do is to get all of these cheeses grated up. This is my handy dandy little space-saving grater, and I love this thing. Now, we all know freshly grated cheeses melt better, but hey, if all you have is bagged cheeses, I am no discriminator. I use bagged cheese all the time, especially in casseroles. But at Thanksgiving, we're going to pull out all the stops here. You know, I don't usually make a lot of side dishes on a weekly basis. You guys know, if you've been here long, you know that I'm more of a casserole, quick and easy skillet meal, main dish type of weeknight cooker. And my sides are usually salads, roasted veggies, canned or frozen veggies. I think that's what I love about Thanksgiving is all the sides, because I truly am a side dish girly. I love them. So Thanksgiving is a perfect time for me to splurge on making a really decadent, really nice big side dish to share with the family. But along with making big side dishes and cooking the other dishes for Thanksgiving comes the problem with time and managing your oven space. So that was really nice about this one, is that it can be done very quickly all in one dish. Just that quick, we've got 24 ounces of shredded cheese. Speaking of these cheeses, you can use whatever varieties that you like. I've really been enjoying Gruyere cheese and provolone. Also smoked Gouda. I've used them in some chicken casseroles recently, pimento cheeses. It's always fun to mix up your cheeses and see what you like. And I like to get my cheese into one large bowl, and then I can kind of toss it around and just kind of get all these 3 cheeses incorporated together into just one big old cheese mixture. Now here comes the fun part. I've got a big 9x13 pan, giving it a little spray with some non-stick spray. Directly into that pan, I put 16 ounces of elbow noodles, not cooked or anything. We're going to pour in a pint or 16 ounces of heavy cream right in here on top of this pasta. Also pouring in 2.5 cups of good old whole milk. Now let's add in a little flavor, about a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of black pepper. Everybody loves paprika in macaroni and cheese, so let's give about a teaspoon of that. About a teaspoon of some onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now let's get everything mixed in really good to get our seasonings all throughout our liquid and our macaroni noodles. And this is a really easy recipe to have if you just want to make this like for your family for one night. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make the whole dish. And this week, we can eat it with various meals throughout the week. We're going to give it a really good test run this week for you, friends. Now I'm going to add this cheese into this casserole dish. And I want to save about 2 cups of it to put on the top of it. And I'm just going to stir that cheese right on down into this. Just want to get all the noodles pretty well submerged down in here and covered with cheese. Then we're going to put it in a 400-degree oven and let it bake uncovered for about 35 minutes. Oh wait, I forgot something that I wanted to put in here. I just recently bought this Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, and I'm loving this on everything. So I'm going to just give this a good little sprinkling. Then we're going to put it in a 400-degree oven and let it bake uncovered for about 35 minutes. Then we're going to pull it out and give it another really good stir. Top it with the other 2 cups of cheese. Cook it another 15 minutes, and then if you want to, you can broil the top of it to get that cheese just as brown as you like it. Then we're going to pull it out and give it another really good stir. This looks amazing. Full, oh my gosh, look at that cheese stretch. See it smoking? Give it a try. This is delicious. This is probably the best mac and cheese I've ever had. I've tried a lot of macaroni. Oh my gosh. I've tried a lot of macaroni and cheese recipes. Cast iron skillet, which was delicious. I've made it in the crock pot for the holidays, and I found 1 or 2 that I really like that, but guys, this is the easiest one yet. It's perfect. The seasonings. I believe that's done everything for this one. All the onion powder, garlic powder, paprika. I think I've just never really put enough before. And that buttery garlic even had some more onion and garlic in it. I believe that made the difference right there. This, I can't tell you, honey, this is awesome. You gotta make this. The noodles are perfectly done. The cheese combination is delicious. Dump and go in one dish. I mean, what more can you want? This is going for Thanksgiving for sure. I'm putting this one on the menu. I have a new dessert I'm super excited to try today. This is a no-bake marshmallow pumpkin pie. Sounds amazing. Now, although this pie is a no-bake pie, we do have to heat a few ingredients. I've got a bag of mini marshmallows here. This is one of the 10-ounce bags of mini marshmallows. I'm also using a cup of that pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, but pure pumpkin. And I have my stove eye on like a low to medium heat. We're just going to start melting these down and getting all this mixed together. While this is warming up, let's go ahead and put some seasonings in here. I'm going to use about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Salt always enhances the flavor of a sweet dish. Also, I'm going to use about 1/2 teaspoon of some pumpkin pie spice. And we're going to bump it up to a full teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Now, if you have been here the last couple weeks, you're probably thinking that I've bought stock in the marshmallow business because I've been using a lot of marshmallows, it seems like. But there's something about the fall recipes that they just you know, they're just marshmallowy and good. But this one is kind of the same thing as what we talked about last week with the Rice Krispie treats. You just cook these very slowly, or you're not really cooking them. You're melting your marshmallows really slowly. You don't want to get impatient and melt them on a real high temperature. They'll get hard. They won't stay nice and fluffy. And what we're looking for here is one of those really big, fluffy, no-bake pies. We want it to be really soft and gooey. So all I can say is patience, grasshopper. Patience. Just melt your marshmallows and stir in your pumpkin and your spices really slowly until everything's all incorporated and melted down. Now that I have the marshmallow and the pumpkin all combined, I'm just going to pour my pumpkin into a little bowl here. Actually, I'm using a pretty good size bowl here because the goal in transferring this to this bowl is I want to let it sit here for about 30 minutes and cool so that I can add my Cool Whip. Don't want it to be hot when I add my Cool Whip. And I'm going to need some room to stir it in. So I'm just using a decent sized bowl. Look at that beautiful, beautiful, rich color. And man, these spices and pumpkin, this smells so, so good already. Now that my little pumpkin mixture has cooled down some, I'm going to take an 8-ounce carton of Cool Whip. I've had it thawing out in the refrigerator. And I'm just going to fold it right into this pumpkin mixture. Now, if you want to go all out here and do some homemade whipping cream, powdered sugar, all that stuff, vanilla, and mix up your very own homemade, you can. But the beauty of a recipe like this is it's midnight right now, and I just decided to whip this up like 30 minutes ago. Because it's so quick. All you had to do was just get your marshmallows melted, let it cool, and mix all this together. There is absolutely nothing wrong with taking some shortcuts, convenience items, especially when it comes to holidays and cooking for them. We have enough on our plate. Look at that pretty color now. The Cool Whip just lighten that right up. Once again, I've got a store-bought pie crust here. This is just a 6-ounce graham cracker pie crust. And I'm going to transfer my filling right over into it. Let's get every bit of it out of here. We're just going to smooth it out. It's almost the exact same color as the graham crackers. Or the graham cracker crust. That's funny. It's really pretty though. It's speckled. You can actually taste. Yes, I tasted it. And see the spices down in here. Just going to put the little top back on here. Seal this puppy up, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. That's why I decided to go ahead and make it tonight. It needs at least 8 hours, but actually the notes on this recipe said that most people really like it better after 1 day and really 2 days. Making this ahead of time is optimal. It gives everything a chance to really get all those flavors infused. So I wanted to go ahead and get it made. Get it in the fridge. My pie has been in the refrigerator for 2 days, so it should be really nice and set up. The first piece is always the hardest to get out. Let's see what we got. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Want just a little bitty dollop of whipped cream or whipped topping on the top of mine. think it's always fun to just sprinkle a little pumpkin pie spice over the top. Gives it a little extra flavor and just a cute little dash of color. Look at that, how big and beautiful and pretty. Let's give it a taste. Oh my gosh. This is delicious. That marshmallow in there, I don't know what it did. It makes this so thick and like, I mean, it's so tall and it's like substantial, but it's not thick like a pumpkin pie custard, but it just has a light fluffiness, but it made it nice and tall and it like sticks together really good. And you don't necessarily get like the flavor of marshmallow, but you get the texture of it with the pumpkin taste and all the spices. This one is so easy and so delicious. I'm going to heat me up a cup of coffee back there and go enjoy it. Today we're going to make some easy baked apples. Look at these ingredients. You probably have all this on hand to make it for Thanksgiving or any day you want. Let's get our oven started preheating to 375 degrees. I'm also going to go ahead and get 1 stick of butter started melting down on low heat over here. That's 8 tablespoons, 1 stick, and I'm using salted butter. That's all I ever buy. I've also got about an 8x8 or maybe 9x9 little square baker. Going to give it just a quick little spray with some non-stick spray. And I've got 3 apples here that I'm going to prep just by cutting them each one in half. Then I'm just going to remove the core and the seeds and the stuff like that from the middle. I like to use my knife. Then I just like to take a spoon and come around here and kind of hollow that out just a little bit. For your apples, you do want to use a good firm sweet apple, something like a Fuji or a Honeycrisp. Complete transparency, I don't remember what these apples are. We got them down in Ellijay, Georgia at the Reese Orchard, and they're kind of a cross of a sweet apple and a tart apple, so we've really enjoyed them. I thought they'd be great in this. I did take a picture of the apple name and the description of it, and I'll put it up here on the screen so you can see what they are. I've always loved baked apples. Of course, if you wanted to chunk your apples up and make this like a big apple crisp, that's real easy to do. But I always thought it was fun to get like my own little dessert. And I think this is something that the kids really enjoy at Thanksgiving or even just on a Sunday dinner, their own little special dessert. Whoops, I broke one. That's all right. We'll put it together. That little middle part is really hard. Guys, I wish I was a little bit more finesse at stuff like this, but apparently I have one setting and it's mongrel. I never could do nothing real pretty like. Now that I've got my apples cored, I've got them face up here in this little dish. I'm going to take about a tablespoon of brown sugar and sprinkle that all across of them. One of them was a victim. It got in half. It's all right though. It'll still eat. I'm also going to go ahead and put just a little sprinkle or so of cinnamon on them just to get things started. Now that my butter's good and melted, I've poured it off of the heat. I'm going to add in 3/4 cups of flour. I'm using self-rising flour because that's what I had. I'm also putting in 3/4 cups of oats, and I'm using quick cooking oats, and they're going to do fine in here. If you have regular rolled oats, they really make like a better texture. They're going to be more kind of, I don't know, chunky for lack of a better word. Quick cooked oats, they're going to, you know, be more thin and not have the same texture, but they'll be fine here, don't worry. I'm going to put in the very slightest pinch of salt because I did use salted butter. But salt just brings out the sweetness. And speaking of sweetness, using a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And let's use about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. We got some on these apples already. Now let's just get all this little crumble topping mixed up completely. Get everything incorporated. It's going to be a little bit stiff, but that's okay. It's supposed to be a sugar oatmeal crumble topping, and that's what they're like. And now that everything is combined, I'm just going to roughly divide this into 6 little, not quadrants, that'd be 4. I'm just going to divide it into 6, roughly. Then I'm just going to use my hands, and I am going to press this right into our apples. We'll see how much we have left when we get to the end. This is very cathartic. It's kind of like making energy balls. This little topping kind of has that feel to it. I'm going to go back to these at the first. I feel like I got a little more heavy-handed as I went. We don't want anybody to get shortchanged here. There, that looks perfect. Now I'm going to cover this really tightly with aluminum foil, put it in this 375-degree oven, and bake it covered for about 25 minutes. After 25 minutes in the oven, very carefully remove this aluminum foil. Got a little grilled cheese action going over here. Sorry. I was waiting for everybody to get home tonight so I could make this. We're going to put it back in the oven for another 20 or 30 minutes uncovered. Come on. Just want to get the tops of everything nice and brown and your apples nice and soft. All right, I've been waiting all day for you to get home until I could make this. Now it's 10 o'clock at night and we're eating it. I got you a bite loaded up with everything.
I thought that was a muffin. It's actually the apple.
You thought it was a muffin? Yes.
It is. It's good.
These are some of the apples that we got at Ella J. What did we say, Matt? What did we say they are, Maddie?
There you go.
Crimson Crisp. I could not find that picture anywhere.
Wow.
Is that good?
That's very
Couldn't
good.
find the picture anywhere that we took of the apple bag, but I'm pretty sure these are Crimson Crisp. They're kind of sweet and tangy at the same time. So
Mom,
good.
that is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
Do you know who would love this?
Who?
Papa.
He would.
We'll
yeah.
take him.
Yeah,
He
we
is
need to be sure and take. Yeah.
he's an apple lover. Patrick's daddy. So yeah, this is good.
So big.
I can't eat that big a bite.
Okay.
We're just gonna share. I put a little bit of caramel on it. You saw that. You just gotta get your napkin.
Baby, that's good.
Yeah. I put a little bit of caramel on it, but I meant to get vanilla ice cream when I was out today. That would have been perfect. I know. I meant to get us some. Then this is just a cute little dessert too.
That's a keeper right there. That's
Very keeper. Enjoy, friends.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Click here for more quick and easy, delicious recipes, perfect for your Thanksgiving table. I'll see you there. As always, I thank you for watching, and I send you love from my kitchen.